Welcome to Worst Case Scenario 10. Today, friends, we aren't just looking back at a disaster. We're diving deep into a moment that shattered a nation and stunned the world. Let's set the scene. It's January 12th, 2010, a humid afternoon in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The sun sinks low, painting everything gold. Streets are alive with vendors hawking fresh mangoes, kids weaving through the chaos barefoot, motorcycles buzzing loudly, dodging potholes on crowded roads. It's just another Tuesday, the city pulsating with daily life, residents dreaming about the evening meal. Nobody senses the horror that's about to unfold. Then, precisely at 4:53 p.m., the earth roars to life. A thunderous crack splits the air, and within mere seconds, the ground beneath Port-au-Prince bucks wildly like an untamed beast. Everything built painstakingly over decades collapses into ruin and tragedy in just 35 agonizing seconds. This is the day the earth split. A catastrophic 7.0 magnitude quake that swallowed over 250,000 lives. Brace yourself. This journey will be intense. The moment it all collapsed. Let's pause right there. 4:53 p.m., just west of Port-au-Prince. Sure, a 7.0 quake might seem less monstrous compared to Japan's massive 9.0 earthquakes. But here's the crucial twist. It's dangerously shallow, just 13 kilometers below the surface. Imagine Earth's colossal fist thrusting violently upwards, not gently shaking but exploding like an enormous subterranean bomb beneath the city. Port-au-Prince, home to 500,000 souls, isn't prepared for this nightmare. Buildings here are hastily constructed, mostly cheap concrete and brittle cinder blocks stacked without reinforcement, steel, or strict safety codes. When disaster strikes, it's instantaneous chaos. Imagine being there yourself, casually grabbing a cold soda from a street stall when suddenly the ground violently jolts beneath you. Walls crumble like cardboard. Roofs collapse with terrifying ease, swallowing screams in an overwhelming, deafening roar. Entire neighborhoods vanish instantly. Small shacks, bustling markets, multi-story homes reduced to twisted piles of rubble. Even the National Palace, a majestic symbol of Haiti's pride, buckles and collapses like a discarded paper dollhouse. The downtown streets become nightmarish scenes straight out of a horror film. Cars crushed beneath massive concrete beams, power poles sparking dangerously, thick dust choking every breath. Over 250,000 people perish immediately, trapped beneath collapsed homes, schools, and marketplaces, buried alive where they stood. Another 300,000 survivors stagger around bleeding, their limbs broken, skulls fractured, faces drained of all emotion. I've seen those haunting images, the desperate survivors clawing frantically at heaps of debris, children's shoes protruding heartbreakingly from beneath rubble. It's the type of horror that sticks with you forever. Hospitals? Most are obliterated instantly. Doctors buried beneath ceilings, patients screaming desperately from beneath mangled hospital beds. The main prison fractures open, inmates escaping like ghosts into a city already descending into chaos. Roads fracture apart like brittle crackers. Bridges crumble, cutting off any possibility of quick escape or emergency response. By dusk, lifeless bodies stack up in grim rows, too numerous to count, too mutilated to identify. Survivors wail mournfully through the long night, frantically digging through the debris with bare, bleeding hands, chasing faint cries for help fading quickly into tragic silence. This isn't merely a natural disaster. It's an entire city abruptly transformed into a mass grave. The days that bled dry. The following morning unveils a landscape transformed entirely into wasteland. Thick dust hangs oppressively, a sickening blend of rot and diesel saturating the air. Survivors move in dazed silence through the wreckage, some clutching lifeless children, others too shocked to process reality. Water has stopped flowing completely, food stocks annihilated, leaving only relentless sunlight beating mercilessly down. transforming the ruined city into a furnace of despair. Those lucky enough might scavenge a single dusty bottle of water from debris, the desperate, unaware drink contaminated water leaking from shattered pipes, poison lying in wait. Power grids have failed entirely, phone networks dead, radios crackle uselessly with static, no comforting voice promising imminent rescue. The global community awakens to horrific scenes transmitted by CNN and other media outlets. Collapsed buildings, devastated streets, the Red Cross urgently appealing for immediate assistance. Aid pledges rapidly pour in from the United States, Canada, the United Nations. Millions of dollars promising relief. But delivering these resources proves chaotic and painstakingly slow. The airport becomes a nightmare chokehold. Runways crowded, aircraft circling helplessly above with nowhere safe to land. Streets lie in impassable ruins. Trucks laden with vital supplies stuck miles from desperate survivors. Tires spinning uselessly in thick mud and despair. Who let this happen? This catastrophe isn't merely nature's fury. It's tragically human-made. Haiti sits precisely atop known fault lines. Everyone acknowledged earthquakes were inevitable. Not a question of if, but when. Yet Port-au-Prince continued erecting unsafe buildings using substandard materials. Concrete thinly mixed, devoid of crucial steel reinforcements, went unchecked. The government, riddled with corruption, lacked resources or resolve to enforce even basic building codes despite engineers issuing repeated urgent warnings. They pleaded for years to reinforce slum housing and school structures, but in a nation crippled by poverty, warnings went unheeded. When disaster inevitably struck, it showed no mercy or discrimination. Wealthy districts crumbled alongside impoverished slums. Iconic landmarks, like the Cathedral of Our Lady, stood shattered into dust. The United Nations headquarters imploded tragically, trapping peacekeepers within. Haiti's leadership floundered helplessly. President Preval missing in action for critical days following the quake, leaving the nation directionless and desperate. Aid efforts stumbled disastrously, hampered by destroyed infrastructure, chaotic management, and a pervasive sense of overwhelming devastation. Over 500 powerful aftershocks relentlessly pounded the region for weeks afterward. Each tremor a cruel reminder of Haiti's vulnerability. Preparedness tragically non-existent. Official estimates place the death toll around 250,000, though exact numbers blurred amidst widespread devastation. 1 million homeless, billions in damage, a nation left gut-wrenchingly crippled, not by fate, but human negligence. The lesson is grimly clear. Infrastructure negligence inevitably leads to catastrophe. Survivors and shadows. Yet, amidst the ruins and heartbreak, resilient humanity shone brilliantly. Stories of heroism emerged, inspiring amidst tragedy. Consider Marie from Léogâne, preparing a simple meal when her home collapsed violently. Shielding her baby bravely beneath her body, Marie sustained severe spinal injuries, but managed miraculously to keep her child alive. Jean, a humble taxi driver in Port-au-Prince, tirelessly dug through wreckage for 12 hours, heroically rescuing 8 neighbors before collapsing himself from exhaustion. These weren't superheroes, simply ordinary Haitians bravely enduring unimaginable horror. The recovery process proved excruciatingly slow, fraught with ongoing tragedies like cholera outbreaks, claiming thousands more lives. Temporary housing became permanent fixtures, flimsy structures inadequate against seasonal rains and storms. Even now, 15 years later, Port-au-Prince remains profoundly scarred, a city still struggling painfully toward recovery, haunted by memories and lingering despair. What did we learn? Haiti's devastating earthquake serves as a profound, urgent warning. Ignoring foundational safety measures leads inevitably to disaster. Building codes must be rigorous, enforcement non-negotiable. Infrastructure isn't merely bricks, it's vital to survival. Preparedness saves lives. Seconds matter immensely during emergencies. Haiti tragically illustrates consequences of neglect. Next time you're in any city, look carefully. Does it feel safe? Disaster doesn't announce its arrival. Preparedness must be a priority. Stay vigilant. Be prepared. Thanks for joining Worst Case Scenario X.